how difficult is it to keep your mind right during hard games? I mean, very much pressure out there. Routine things do not seem so routine, huh?
No, and I always loved being in that in a World Series place, and my concentration was so peaked, and I always wondered why it wasn't as strong during the season as it was during playoffs and World Series. And yeah, you can't. You know what? Some guys actually are afraid in the field. Gosh, I hope he doesn't hit it to me. You can't beat. You got to say, I want him to hit it to me. Hit it to me. And you want that situation. Or at the plate, you want to be in that situation. You want to be at the plate with runners on. I always thrived on that. So, tough series. You're a Met fan. You know, I never knew the difference until 1986. I was in New York. We were playing the Mets in the World Series, which you probably loved that one. And a guy on the street, he goes, Dewey. I said, yeah. And he goes, beat those Mets. I said, aren't you from New York? He says, yeah, I'm a Yankee fan. And it dawned on me, after playing like 15 years, 14 years in the major leagues, it dawned on me what it must have been like when the Dodgers, Giants, and Giants and Yankees were in town. I mean, it was so divided. I'd be so divided in that city that it dawned on me then that you got three different teams, and not everyone. From what I hear, how it goes, it's the Mets, Jets, and usually 90% of the time, and Yankees, Giants. That's usually how it runs in New York City.
I mean, it's loyalty in fans is very, very distinct. Especially, I'm from New Haven, so I got a mix of Boston, Yankees, Mets, Patriots, Giants, Jets. I got Islanders, Bruins. I mean, everyone's so divided. What were your favorite memorable fan moments that you've had in Boston? I mean, those are true fanatics out there in B-Town.
Right. I played 20 years. I had a lot of great memories. Came to the plate 10,500 times, and the playing in front of those people, Red Sox fans, they were so emotional, and I love emotion. And when a great thing happens, they're going to cheer you. When a bad thing happens, they're going to boo. And you know what I realized after playing there 5 or 6 years is that they really weren't booing me; they were booing the situation. And the same thing with cheering. I mean, they just don't. And I think New York's the same way too. Very emotional fans, and just like that guy grabbing the ball out of the glove. So I think they're emotional, and I love emotion. I do.
The Clippers now have this very unique, behind the foul, behind the ends of the courts, they have this thing called the wall. You played by a really, really distinct feature in Major League Baseball. Can you, was it an advantage or disadvantage having the Green Monster?
Well, for me, being right-handed and playing right field, it was, and that being the biggest right field in all of baseball, and awkward corners and angles and the whole thing. As a hitter, the left field wall hurt me because I was more of a right center, left center guy. And then when I did pull the ball, it usually was a line drive and be at the top of the wall. That's a home run in any other ballpark. So, and Rice was the same type of hitter too. But when I first came up, they said, I'm 20 years old and we're in Fenway, and the guy says, grab a piece of cheese and wrap it around the pole. I looked at him and I said, what'd you say? What he was saying, grab a piece of cheese, in baseball terms, that means fastball, and then wrap it around a pole and pull it. And I was a guy that used the middle of the field and became a pull hitter that wasn't really my style. It was like a guy like Tony Candelario and Rico Petrocelli. Those kind of guys were those natural pull hitters. I wasn't that type of hitter. So I suffered that way until about the late 70s, early 80s, and then I started going back to the middle of the field. But I love Fenway. But right-handed hitter. It's a left-handed hitter hitting ballpark because you can miss a ball, get beat inside a little bit, and it's going to go off that wall for a single or a double.
Mm. You are named up there second only to Carl Yastrzemski. You're in great company, trailing Yastrzemski and Ted Williams when it comes to home runs. How does it feel to be in that kind of company?
Well, there's a lot of history in with the Boston Red Sox, and to be mentioned with those guys is truly an honor. And right before he passed away, Ted Williams had his Ted Williams Hall of Fame. He inducted me into his Hall of Fame, and at that time there were Major League or Hall of Famers that weren't in his Hitters Hall of Fame. So that was a great honor for me, and he was special. We had some run-ins, and it's in the book. We had some run-ins too. We had some disagreements, which is okay. But at the end, he really cared about me. I really cared about him. He was an American hero. He's a special guy. Fought in 2 wars, and didn't play in the major leagues for 5 years, and he put his life on the line. He's very special, American hero, for sure.
One last question. You're now part of a family. The Red Sox organization is very unique, a long history, and from Ted Williams to Big Papi, you all really truly get along and talk to each other all the time, huh?
We do. I mean, I see Papi in spring training. I'm still working in spring training, and Jim Rice is there, and it's fun. Yastrzemski used to be there. He's not there anymore, but up to about 2 years ago, he'd come to spring training. So we'd all rub shoulders and get in the same room and have some great times. And I can remember one time in Fenway, we were all in a room and with Tom Brady and Bill Russell, Yastrzemski, and Rice, and Doug Flutie. So to see Russell and Brady walk through the door, that's Doug Flutie, who was about a foot shorter. But the conversation we had, rubbing shoulders, and the common ground we had on athletes, and was really. And Bill Russell had some great things to say, and he was still really involved in the game mentally, and athletes, and the whole thing, how generations they change, but he was interesting to listen to.
Wow. I'm running out of time. One last question. There's always a comparison of athletes of old and now, and do you feel like they're more athletic based on science, or you think they're genetically modified, players like Aaron Judge?
Well, he's like, I saw him in the minor leagues when I was still working with the Red Sox. When I go down to AAA and watch him, he did some things that just, he's a special kid. I mean, his body type he looks like a Mookie Betts is 5'10", but this guy's like 6'8", and so well, his body type is so strong. And I hear, I've never been in the clubhouse with him, but I hear he's a great teammate and just a great guy. So he's a special guy. So Judge and the players today, I like what the owners did with the amount of time in between pitches. I don't like putting a guy at second base in the 10th inning with no outs. I don't like that. So those things are different. They make the game quicker, but I think by speeding up the 15 time in between pitching has really sped up the game big time.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you very much for your time, Dewey. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, nice talking with you. Take care.